It's becoming harder and harder to hide, but plausible deniability has kept it a debate, a rumor, a whisper. But let me ask you this. Would you leave $1 billion product to chance? In the moments when the stakes were highest, the outcome hasn't always been the most likely. It's been the most convenient, the most poetic. And that's why more and more fans are starting to believe what might seem wild at first, but just might be true. The NBA is rigged. The NBA Draft Lottery is sold to us as pure chance, but it doesn't feel that way. 2025. Dallas somehow wins the number 1 pick, despite having better odds than only 3 teams. 10 others had better chance. 5 had double-digit odds, but somehow it was Dallas.
The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA Draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Why? Well, they just gave Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
The Lakers needed a face for the future, and now they have Dallas's Luka Doncic. It certainly was a wow move for both franchises out of nowhere.
And history says that matters. In 2019, the Pelicans lost Anthony Davis to the Lakers. They magically landed the number 1 pick and got Zion.
With the first pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Williamson from Duke University.
In 2012, New Orleans got the number 1 pick again and landed Anthony Davis right after trading Chris Paul to the Lakers.
With the first pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Anthony Davis.
Every time an all-world player is shipped to LA, the team that lost him gets handed a generational prospect. Coincidence? Or compensation? The league's history with the lottery goes even deeper. 1985. The very first draft lottery. Patrick Ewing was the prize, a generational talent, and he just so happened to land in the biggest market of all, New York.
We know differently. Here's David Stern with the announcement.
First pick, select Patrick Ewing.
David Stern pulls the Knicks envelope, but some believe that envelope had a bent corner. Others say it was frozen. Either way, the Knicks got their guy, and the league got a revived storyline. Why would Stern rig it? Because the league was struggling. Attendance was down, star power was fading, and putting Ewing in New York saved the product. Would you leave that kind of future to chance? Or would you put your thumb on the scale? If the draft isn't rigged, the officiating might be. Game 6, Western Conference Finals, 2002. Lakers versus Kings. The Kings were better. The Kings were winning. Until they weren't. 27 free throws for the Lakers, most of them in the fourth quarter. Phantom calls, no calls, blown whistles. And guess what? Years later, it came out that referee Tim Donaghy was gambling on the games he officiated. He wasn't alone, and he admitted it. Certain games were nudged to favor certain outcomes.
In 2007, the NBA was rocked to its core when the news hit that referee Tim Donaghy had admitted that he had illegally bet on games.
But it wasn't just about money. The NBA needed Kobe and Shaq in the finals. Jordan was gone.
Michael Jordan always said he wanted to retire on top, and so he has. Today, he made official the story that broke Monday night that he would not return to the Bulls after 13 seasons, 6 championships, and countless game highlights.
The league needed a new face, a new dynasty, a three-peat. That's exactly what they got. Then came 2006. Heat versus Mavs. Game 5. 1.9 seconds left. Dwayne Wade misses a layup and gets bailed out by a whistle. A foul on Nowitzki.
On the drive, double team. Wade looking for an opening. He's fouled. Shot won't go, but he will shoot 2 with 1.9 remaining.
The Heat win. The Mavs unravel.
Harris puts it up for the win. Oh, no good. And Miami wins again.
Miami wins the series. Wade and Shaq get rings. Why would that matter? Because Wade was becoming a Nike-backed face of the league. Shaq was still a megastar. And Dallas? Well, Dallas wasn't selling shoes. And if you think that sounds too cynical, remember, the NBA isn't just a sport. It's a business. A billion-dollar product with billion-dollar partners. And their biggest partner? Nike.
Nike and the NBA have introduced the new uniforms that will be worn next season. Now, Nike takes over for Adidas, who had been the league's official outfitter since 2006. But now the swoosh has inked an 8-year deal with the league that could be worth $1 billion.
It's no coincidence that nearly every face of the league has worn the swoosh. Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Durant, Wade, even now Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA led the league in free throws this past season, a career high. Night after night, the whistle bent in his favor.
Gilgeous-Alexander this time draws the foul. T-Wolves up.
Remind you of anyone? Because in 2006, Dwayne Wade shot more free throws than the entire Mavericks team.
And then Dwayne Wade starts driving to the hoop. Every little touch, 2 shots, 2 shots. He literally multiple games shot more free throws than our entire team. And that was it, man. And it was painful. And, you know, I never got fined for it but they did officiating.
When the NBA crowns a new star, the whistle seems to follow. So, is the NBA rigged? Not in the way that you might think. You can't rig every shot, every pass, every play. But you can guide the momentum. You can shift momentum. You can favor certain outcomes. That's not just rigging. That's orchestration. The league doesn't need full control. Just a little nudge. An invisible string pulling just enough to keep the story going. But in recent years, that string is starting to show. And maybe that's not all bad. Because for all its faults, the NBA is still the most inspiring version of basketball the world has ever seen. It gives kids heroes. It gives players platforms. It gives fans a story. So is it rigged? Yes. In small ways. In key moments. In the margins. But maybe that's the cost of protecting $1 billion dream.
Every playoff game meant tens of millions of dollars for the league, so they wanted the series to go towards 7 games as often as possible. If there was a sweep, it was not good for the league's bottom line.
Let us know what you think in the comments. How much do you think is real? And if you want more, check out our videos on LeBron's 8 straight finals and the Warriors' toughest playoff battles. Because one thing's for sure, there's always more to the story.